Hey, and we're back. Just gonna start right off with a random bit of news. Apparently there's a Walking Dead porno that I just learned about. Just gonna let you guys marinate in that for about a few minutes and move on with my Let's Play. Alright, right where we left off. And let's see here. Okay, this dude apparently set up shop right here too.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. What are you buying?
Sweet. We're gonna get this here, and we're gonna sell it right back to him.
Thank you.
Look at that, the Chicago typewriter. That's
What are
crazy.
you selling?
I'm not gonna go for that in this Let's Play. Maybe next time. Who knows?
Thank you. What are you
He's not the best vendor, this merchant guy.
What are you
He just gave me something for free, and then I wound up taking 15,000 pesetas from him. And he just accepted that deal without hesitation. Right. Okay, I'm gonna try to upload my guns a little bit. Maybe not too much. But,
What are you
let's see.
selling?
Okay, so I'm not gonna sell these quite yet because, like the last
Is that
two
all?
valuables, the beer stein and the mask, just gonna go ahead and hold on to them until I can try to find what completes them, and then be on my way. Only up to 7 saves, you say? That's gonna change very rapidly, I'm sure. Alright. For some reason I thought there was like a jewel out here, but I was wrong. But hey, I'll take that Magnum ammo anyway. Like I said, I'm really having a blast with this game. It's fun, like the intricacy of the action, the enemies being smart, and you know, the upgrading of the weapons, having to strategize, saving ammo, that sort of thing. And I really like it. You have to actually think to get through this game. Horror games these days, I mean, I don't really want to make a blanket statement because I haven't really played many modern horror games. The extent of my modern horror experience is really kind of like Silent Hill Homecoming, and one might argue that's not even modern because fine, like if you really want to be technical about it, that was a previous gen title. It was PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and now we're up to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So, you know, if people want to bring up that argument, it's a valid argument, and I understand. So that's really the extent of my experience. And I mean, I have seen Let's Players, here we go with the boulder again. I have seen Let's Players do Let's Plays of, there seems to be a numerous, like a very high number of horror games, like particularly indie horror games, which is actually really fascinating to me. Some of them actually look really good. They do. And then we have Silent Hills just announced. And first of all, Daryl Dixon is in it. I know I mentioned that in a previous video. So that's weird. I like Norman Reedus. He's a good actor, and I mean, of course, I love The Walking Dead. But I actually thought it was a joke. I'm like, I just see a random picture of Norman Reedus. I'm just kind of looking through, like, Facebook or whatever, and then one of the gaming sites that I'm following on Facebook posts this picture, and it's like Norman Reedus, and next thing you know, it's like Silent Hill. I'm like, okay, wait. Literally, the first thought I had when I saw that was, I think somebody made a mistake. They accidentally posted a picture of The Walking Dead when they were supposed to post a picture of Silent Hill. But I continued to see Norman Reedus, the same picture, and in reference to Silent Hill. And first of all, let's forget about Norman Reedus for a second here. Silent Hills is apparently the name of this new Silent Hill game that's coming out. I don't even have a comment actually about that. It just seems very weird to me. And then I started to see kind of gameplay videos of it, and I don't really know what to say about it, except that... See, I'm coming back here, by the way, because I know that there's enemies that are going to be spawning from over here. So I just don't want to get flanked. But I saw someone, and to be fair, I only saw just about a few minutes of the playable demo, the playable teaser. And I'm like, this doesn't even look, at least what I saw, doesn't even look like a Silent Hill game. This looks almost like something like Fear, like that game, or some indie horror game that you're like inside of a house, and I'm like, this is really the state of things here. I can't say enough, I can't sing the praises enough of the early Silent Hill games and how they said, you know what, we are not going to rely on strictly jump scares to quote-unquote scare our players. No, they created an atmosphere where of tension, and it was really amazing, and they did it well. And not very many games did that. Not very many games were able to do that. To me, if a game, especially nowadays, when people can be critical, and they should be critical, for a game to rely on jump scares mainly as their main source of creating fear, that to me just reeks of sort of laziness and lack of creativity. The only other game that I can think of that actually was able to create successfully an atmosphere of fear, so much so that I won't even play the game because it's too scary, is Siren. I don't know if you guys have ever played that game. Apparently I heard the first Siren is good premise, kind of a good... Oh my god, Jesus Christ, this guy scared me. A good premise, the simple idea that the enemies don't die. You can incapacitate them for some time, but they eventually come back. You can never kill them. I think, and that's something so simple, and yet that is, you know, that's pretty remarkable. That's pretty remarkable. It really creates that feeling of helplessness and feeling of, I gotta be careful here, I really gotta sneak around and that sort of thing. And so I can't help but sing the praises. Although I do know that especially the first Siren had a lot of like gameplay issues, and apparently it's like really hard. It's pretty unforgiving, that game, but interesting premise, interesting story. The story's kind of confusing actually. And I haven't played it yet though. I said I should play it just to check it out, but I'm scared of it. I don't know. I've seen a few people play it, so it looks pretty interesting. And then they did a remake of it, a reimagining of it with Siren Blood Curse. And I don't think the series ever really reached the popularity that I think it deserves. And the second game, not to mention that the second game didn't even come out in the US, it came out in Europe and Japan, I think, and it looked pretty interesting too, but I can't play it obviously. So I don't know, it's not as popular as like the big names like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Fear, Dead Space. Don't even talk to me about Dead Space. I mean, I played the first Dead Space and actually got the second Dead Space. I never even played that. And what can I say about it? It's a modern action horror game, and that's really it for me. I just couldn't get into it. And I have the utmost respect for people that say, oh, it's a really good game. You know, if people have that opinion about a game, then that's totally fine. But then people should understand that I have, just as they have a right to have that opinion, I have a right to have an opinion that says, I didn't really like Dead Space that much. And I played it, I couldn't get into it. I played through the whole thing, too, so it's not like I just played part of the game. So I don't really have a complete experience of it. But I don't know, it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. Just honestly, in general, most modern games are just really not my kind of thing. I will play some every once in a while, and I'll play some particularly multiplayer. Like if buddies of mine are kind of saying, "Hey, let's play, you know, let's play this, let's play that," and kind of these. You might imagine the default game is, you know, whatever Call of Duty game is out. And why do we like Call of Duty? Let's get into that for a moment. Why in the hell do we like Call of Duty? You know what I should even say? Let me put it this way. Most people don't even like Call of Duty. They just get suckered into buying it because all their other friends buy it and say, "Oh, we should play together, we should play together." As a matter of fact, that's what kind of what happened to me. I mean, I'm not trying to blame anybody, but like, it's just kind of like, you know, I want to play with my buddies and they all have Call of Duty Ghosts, so let me play it. But the games are absolutely horrendous. The ironic thing is I played Call of Duty 4. That was the game that really popularized the series. It was the first Modern Warfare game. All the other ones before that were, you know, World War II games. Let's just check this out for a moment. And that's the other officer, I think.
Shit. Vámonos. Okay, ándale.
Nothing can go wrong here. No, just kidding. Rule number 1, I guess, of like filmmaking. Whenever you focus that much on a particular object, you know something bad's gonna happen to it, especially like a body or a person, even a person who's alive. But anyway, Call of Duty. The ironic thing is I played the fourth Call of Duty. I never played any of the Call of Duties before that. Before 4. And I played 4, and I never actually played the multiplayer in 4. But I played the campaign, and I actually really like the campaign. I mean, it's short, and it's, you know, it's nothing stellar, but I really liked it. It was actually the first game where you actually can die. You actually are playing as someone who's dying, which, to me, that I always say that's one of the historic moments for me as a gamer. One of the most significant gaming moments in my gaming career. Definitely have to say. I thought there would be more enemies in this area for some reason, so let's just see. Or I should say any enemies, to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and save here, because I want to show you guys something. You might know this already, but I couldn't resist. So no harm, no foul. I'm just gonna go ahead and save. And we're done. Now, check this out. Don't try this before you save. Just go fishing. May as well go fishing with an automatic gun, right? That's how I do it. Oh man, that gets me every single time. Awesome. I'm just gonna go ahead. I chose not to continue because I saved and I didn't really want to load a continue. It's just kind of like my old time kind of gaming habits where it's just like, oh, don't continue because you won't get as good of a grade, even though I don't think this game really gives you a grade at the end of it all. So this time for reals, I just wanted to troll you guys a little bit, but this time for really reals, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Right where we left off, which is good. Nothing lost. And here we go. Kind of really don't have much of an idea where I'm going. This is a massive lake, by the way. And yes. Leon was expecting this to happen, right? Because he just saw that the police officer's body was eaten by this thing. And I do have to say, I absolutely love this boss battle. You know why? Because it's absolutely ridiculous. Now check this out. You have this rope attached to the boat, and it's got like a grappling hook on it, like we're freaking Link from Legend of Zelda or something. Anyway, or Batman or something. And ooh, that was close. Oh snap! Not as lucky that time. But it's completely impossible. Look very carefully at the rope. Look how, okay, the idea is that the boat is constantly attached to this monster. But look how far the monster was from the boat, and the boat wasn't moving at all. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like the rope changes length for some reason throughout the battle. But anyway, for the sake of the game, we'll just go with it. Look right here even. That doesn't make sense either. Like, it's just crazy. Look how short it is. Where's this guy going? And this boss fight is actually like, you don't even need a thought to it. You just have to worry about swimming if you get knocked off the boat, and the fact that they help you try to find the monster so you can throw these harpoons at it helps a lot. So I don't know if in professional mode he requires more damage. I'm not sure. I played professional mode like once, so I really can't remember what I guess it is the case, because I think the fight wound up taking a lot longer than the normal version of it. So I think that might be the case, but it'll be good to kind of confirm that. Insert obligatory Jaws reference here. I love how there's infinite harpoons on this boat. There's no number, so it's infinite. Yeah, that's realistic. But, I don't know, I kind of do want to get into the indie, not just the indie horror scene, but like the indie game in general. Like, indie games in general. I want to get into those, like, I know they have a marketplace for indie games on Xbox Live, and I know they have one for the PlayStation Network as well, and I'm sure other platforms have them too. So it's just kind of like, I've seen a lot of really interesting ones, really good ones, that I don't know if I would necessarily want to play them, but it gives me kind of like, it's sparking my interest in indie games in general, which is pretty damn cool. Which is pretty cool. And I would definitely like to kind of pick the brain of an indie game developer, not really so much a big time game developer, to be honest, because I would probably, if I talked to someone in Resident Evil, like in Capcom, who's in charge of making Resident Evil, I would probably just not be too pleasant with them. I'd say, why the F did you screw up the series so bad? But you know, that's not exactly how you conduct yourself in an interview, so I'm just gonna have to hold my tongue. You know, the ironic thing for me is that as much as I've played games, and as much as I've thought, wow, wouldn't it be great to have a career in video games? Oh, this thing's gonna get me again, isn't it? Yep. Wonderful. It's just that these trees are so perfectly positioned. I think if Leon is hurt, the more hurt he is, I think the slower he swims. So I'm just gonna try to heal here, I think. Yeah. Thankfully I have that option. So we're good. So, you know, I have had that thought in the past. I'm like, wow, wouldn't it be amazing to have a career in games? And part of me kind of still thinks that. But first of all, my question is, even so, and it's not like it's impossible, like, maybe years ago, you know, it will be more difficult, at least I should say. But now it's just like, there's so many schools that are dedicated to gaming, and there's so many big colleges and universities that actually have gaming related majors now. Like I know my alma mater, NYU, has a gaming school now, which I was just like, wow, where the hell was this when I was going to college? That's not fair. I tell you, man, kids these days have it made. But like, I wouldn't even know where to begin, like which kind of career, because there's so many types. Like you can do programming, you can do design, you can compose music for games, and it's just like, I have no idea where my expertise would be. I mean, of course you can take classes and learn things, but there's something to be said about people that have some innate talent in certain things as well. So where do I fit in all that? I honestly wouldn't know where I would fit in terms of game development, which area of game development I would be in. Maybe writing. I like to exercise my creativity sometimes. I've written a fan fiction before. Of course, I'm not gonna give you guys the details because I'm quite embarrassed about it, but yeah, but I like to write. It's kind of my thing, and I enjoy it. By the way, is this guy almost dead or what? I've been fighting him for 2 hours. Jesus. Oh my god, it's about time. Thank you. I guess what didn't help was that part of, like, over halfway through the fight, that's when I realized, oh, you know, I can actually, throw harpoons at him while he's moving the boat around, like while he's pulling the boat. Is he dead? See, I don't trust these games. They make you think an enemy's dead and they're really not. I don't know about all that. So I think that was technically the first boss battle of the game. So, there you have it. Ooh, Leon's not really looking too good. Oh dear. And he died. That's a quick game. Only 5 videos, huh? No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so we're gonna save here. Now we're into Act 2. So, things are changing, huh? Just save and see what happened to our dear Leon. Alright, until next time. Later.